What? OMG, I can't even believe it. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Cheers. Okay, this is totally crazy because I just did a whole tarot reading at 3:30. I've been here doing a reading, talking away, chatting away. Meanwhile, I never pressed the start button. I thought I did. I thought I pressed the go live button. I can't believe it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I even did a thing on Instagram where I'm like, I'm going live in 20 minutes. Watch the tarot. I'm so sorry. Christine. Okay, you see me, but it's not playing. But at 4:20, is it 4:20? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, thank you for being here. Okay, well, I hope you can see it now, Chris. That's brilliant. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just did this whole thing and I was all chatty Cathy for like, I guess almost an hour here. I'm taking off the little socks. Okay, I'm getting hot. Look at what I got from the mom, little Christmas socks. But now I'm all like, I gotta take my clothes off. What are we doing here now? I've been sitting here for an hour, honey child. This is hilarious. I guess that's just the way it is. And I guess the I guess that reading was a whatever it was for the spirits. So blessings and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful, and Happy New Year to you. My goodness, 2018. What does it even mean? I know there's like the 2 and the 1 and the 8, which is the 11, which are supposed to be the columns, the pillars of light. You know, that we are invited to move through in this year and to embody and be, and to embody the column of light within ourselves, of course. Yet it's a passageway, right? It's like it's a gateway of transformation. And I'm just so stoked that you're here, that there's someone here. Oh my God, someone else is here. And you know, crazy me, I have to put these glasses on. Hey, Happy New Year, Raven Soul. Blessings. Thank you for being here. This is hilarious. So I was just saying that I was here, but I hadn't pressed start. So here we are. We're starting. Thank you so much for joining me. And you know what? I really want to say thank you for joining the live streams, everyone. So this last week, I will put a link here later when I go back in to this last week's live stream. Like something shifted. It was the 12th one. And man, if you watch the first one, in fact, I don't even want you to watch the first one. The first couple ones were rough. I was nervous and I just didn't even know what I was doing. But God, you know, my assignment from the Most High Source was saying, you got to start these live streams. And I was like, okay, I'm in, I'm doing it. Really fumbling around and not feeling masterful with it at all, or not feeling my authentic self clicking into it. But this week it shifted and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like something's beginning to happen and it's different from how I was thinking it needed to happen. So anyway, my message to you with that is if there are things that you're guided to do, inspired to do from deep within your intuition, from source, from love, from light, and you're in it and you're going like, fuck, am I doing this for? Or like, what is this supposed to be? Am I doing this right? What the hell is happening? If you're in that situation, keep going, right? If you have that divine guidance, just keep at it, just keep going, just keep going. And some days are going to be better than others. Yet it begins to all click. And that's what I'm having this experience with those 4D Trinity live streams. So join me if you haven't done them yet. They're at 10 a.m. I hop on every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There is a 4D Trinity playlist that you can check out. And this last week's, especially the running grids and the 4D hologram, like we collectively, we did it. Like something clicked. It was show number 12. And it was like, okay, finally on the 12th one, I'm beginning to see the light of where this is all going. So I thank you for being a part of it and for all your comments. And thank you. There's like 8 new subscribers this month. I actually had a vision that I might be at 750 subscribers on New Year's Day. That just popped into my head. And today I went on and I was like, oh, we're here. So thank you for sharing these videos. And it really makes such a difference when you do share them on your social media when you leave your comments, when you thumbs up and all that good stuff. I'm grateful. I don't have it in the description box just yet, but later when I do a little editing to this video, I'll put my website and a few links to my books. I have a few free books. If you join my newsletter through my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, you receive The Higher Self, A Blueprint of Mastery, a little mini ebook as a gift, and you'll receive my monthly newsletter. And I have another free book on iBooks and at Amazon called The Nowosphere, Understanding Your Spiritual Sensitivity. I'm all about the metaphysics and understanding the invisible realms of multidimensional, mastery and self-healing, right, to empower ourselves. So thank you for being here and for joining. And let's get started. So here we go. I use the Osho Zen Tarot, and we're going to give these little guys a shuffle. We'll take a nice deep breath in and out. We'll call in our angels and our guides, all those beloved light beings of the Most High. And you know what? I feel like I'm guided to get a shuffle on. So I'm going to do this for a minute so you can see the little table where we do all this. And I'm going to get a little Vegas action here. So we're calling in the love and light on all of our beautiful guides, all those divine beings that love us, those ascended masters, there's archangels, all of our spirit animal guides and totems. We thank you so very much. I call in love and light to my body, to my mind, through my vessel, that I may communicate in the most high ways and speak the most high messages for one and all, that we may all receive the most high guidance that serves us. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And one more, ought to do it. Okay, I'm getting to move them into 3. And then we're going to pick 3 from each. Woo, beyond illusion. Comparison. No, compromise. I'm sorry, compromise. Conditioning. Ooh, that one came up in the last in the last reading I just did for the past hour here when I was not recording. And here we go from the second deck. No thingness. Sharing. Oh, Moses the cat is here. And moment to moment. Beautiful. And from this last deck here, new vision. He's sharpening his nails, so that's a little background music. Ripeness, powerful. Isolation. Okay, so let's get to this. We have our top row, our middle row, and our bottom row. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put this little guy back up here so I don't cut my head off. Okay, I think we're good. So, very interesting as we begin. Beyond illusion. That's where we are. That's where we're going. Look at the third eye and look at the beautiful butterfly of transformation. This is us today. This is us this week, January 1st to January 8th of 2018. We are going beyond illusion. We are not lying to ourselves anymore. We are not allowing ourselves to be tempted into the ways of old that would lead us down pathways that are not true and aligned with us. We are seeing with our light sight, calibrated with our third eye vision, beyond the illusion of this world, beyond the illusions that we create for ourselves in our own minds, those labyrinths and those tapestries of fear, right? Fear-based limitations. We are breaking down through those walls, and we are seeing through those limitations with our third eye vision. Very important. This is a major arcana card, and it calls for us to keep with our meditative practices. We are, ooh. Okay, I'm totally getting a download because this card on the bottom row, inner vision, new vision, pardon me. Same thing though, right? New vision. This is so ready. There's this hologram of you that is new. It's a new part of your story that is ready to be activated, like a part of our light body that's like do 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 do, that all the little bits and pieces are kind of percolating and activating, but the connections haven't been made yet. So our job this week is to keep meditating. And you know what? Even more than meditating is what we are called to do is to do those practices that we might have left behind. So we have our meditation, we have our prayer, we have our journaling, but what else is there? What other practices do you have that you have not done in a long time? What can you start to get out of, maybe like a lazy thing? I know I'm talking about myself, because all month of December, I did not spin the staff once. And it was to my detriment. It did not serve me. And it's a thing that I do that helps me keep in my full power as a being of love and light. And I didn't touch it. My tar body, the darker shadow of me, had its way with me last month. But that's done. That's the past. I'm changing that. I'm changing that record. And even with all the meditation though, right? Sometimes we need more, because yes, I was meditating. Yes, I was doing my Reiki, doing, yoga and all this stuff. Yet my stuff was up. And I was not my highest in a couple of situations, because I was seeing the world as I thought it was. And I was thinking the world was real. I wasn't seeing beyond illusion. And what helps me personally see beyond illusion is getting out into nature and spinning my staff and calibrating my light body. So besides your usual participation in your metaphysical, spiritual practices, there's more. And this week you're asked to say, what is that thing? You know what that thing is. If you're brave enough, you might even type it into the comment box while we're here. But there's this thing, and I knew for me last month, it was like staff, and the ravens always come to me when they're like, they remind me every week. They'll be outside hanging in the trees, and they'll be calling, waking me up in the morning over the house. And I'm like, okay, dudes, I know, okay, tomorrow, or okay, I'll see you up there later this afternoon or whatever. And all last month they were just calling and calling. And then they got to the point where they were like, girl, she's not even listening to us, where they were just like, we give up. And I knew, like, they stopped calling. And there was a point where it was like, oh shit, they're just like, they didn't give up on me, but they got to the point where they're like, you got to figure this one out for yourself, girl. You got to like choose this for yourself. So that's what I'm inviting you to do. What other practice is there that allows you to go even deeper? I don't like saying we need this, but we are invited to this, because to maximize our potential of light sight, to see beyond the illusion, is where we're invited, so that we can allow this light body calibration to activate through this new vision of self. So someone has offered, I'm so grateful. Chanting. Okay, cool. You're going to get back into chanting, Will. I love it. Chris, isn't it okay to take a break from what we do to stay even? I love that, Chris, and thank you. Absolutely it is. And you know what I have found is, if you're feeling even Stephen, and you're feeling like all is flow, yeah, don't mess with it, right? If nothing's broken, don't try to fix it, or we don't need to try to do more than we need to, right? To create a sort of a stress, or to think that we should be anywhere else. Absolutely. And I think that's a very powerful, beautiful point. Yet, if we are in a stress mode at all, what we're called to is to do that little bit more, to exercise even more of our practices than we have been lately. And also beyond that, what the invitation is, just with this first card, is that there is something new percolating inside of us, this new vision. And if you feel a resonance with that, and if you, obviously, everything, this is all, as my friend would say, everything is just a suggestion, right? Like a menu at a restaurant. You pick and you choose, right? Like a book, right? For these tarot readings, you just pick and you choose what resonates with you, and you take that for what it is, and you work with that for your highest good always. There's never a force of will. Yet there's this sense this week that these patterns within us are emerging. This 2018, these two columns of light, this passageway that we're getting ready to move through is activating these columns of light, and this light body of memory of a certain part of the puzzle of who we are, at the truth within us. And so what the invitation is to go even deeper into those practices, or to pull out, right, of the toolkit practices that you know you resonate with, that you love, and that bring you great joy and even deeper sense of enlightenment and peace. This is the week where it's saying, go in and do it and do it and do it. Compromise is the next card. And this is a card that says, and it's funny that you write that, Chris, because as I put these cards together here, there is a sense of, absolutely, we're not trying to create stress with our practices by saying, oh no, man, if I miss out, my light body's gonna be in the dark, you know. We're not trying to say that at all in any way, shape, and form. But there is a compromise, and sometimes it is, you know, I think what this is saying is, it's saying, what can you compromise? What can you make more time in your space this week to give back to yourself, right? So perhaps if that resonates more, that's the invitation. There is a compromise. Like for me, I would have to, you know, I love waking up in the morning and spending an hour in bed with the cat. I make the coffee and I have my little rice cake, and I do my thing in the morning, and I read the Course in Miracles, and I love like having that luxury of a full hour to just be in the bed before I get out and meditate and do whatever I need to do. Yet there's a call that the staff tells me, and it says, the first thing, you wake up, you pee, you put on your shoes, and you put clothes on, of course, but then you get to the mountain and you spin that staff. And I'm like, that means I can't have my coffee and the cat and the thing and my journal in the morning. And the staff doesn't always ask me to do that every morning, but once in a while it'll be like, do, 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 right? This metaphysical spiritual practice that you know kicks ass, and that kicks the ass of your tar body, and that brings you up vibrationally, up frequency-wise, up into the land of heaven on earth realization here and now, is calling. It's like the God phone. It's like, it's calling. Are you gonna wake up and do your usual coffee in the bed, or are you gonna say, okay, thank you, Spirit, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna put those shoes on, I'm gonna pee, we're gonna put on pants, and we're gonna get up there to the mountain. It's that kind of thing. Compromise, right? It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it's like, where God is calling you this week, where your soul, your spirit, whatever name you give it, is calling you to participate even more in your practices, to hone and to heighten, to open your heart, to open your third eye, to embody more love and light. That's the invitation this week. And it's interesting. Now it's getting a little dark, so I might have to turn a light on in a while. But because this new vision is such a huge part of this, of the last rung of our reading, you know, the third card up top is conditioning. And I did pull this in that version of the reading that I did just about 3:30 ago. Conditioning, and this is a major arcana card. And it's interesting because beyond illusion, there's compromise in the middle, and then there's conditioning, a major arcana. They're both major arcanas, and they're either side of the compromise card on this top row. And the conditioning is saying, the story about this is that this lion has a sheep tied to its back. And he doesn't look very happy. But deep inside, he is grateful, because like family, they bring us up and they give us all their gifts and their stories and their information about the world and how it works. And we believe it until we choose again, until we think again. And like that, the lion was brought up since a cub with this family of sheep, and he thought he was a sheep. He thought he was a sheep until one day he's drinking water in the lake, and he really sees his reflection, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm a lion, I'm not a sheep. And then he has this whole like meltdown. He has to go to the sweat lodge, the healing teepee, you know, the lion's like having, he's having a rough time with it. But then he realizes, as he releases those things that he thought he was, he comes into who he really is. And that's where we're invited this week. So, and I think that's why there's such a focus on this like extra discipline this first week of January, to just that extra discipline when your higher self, when your spirit, your angels say, forgive them, or call up and ask for forgiveness, like to do those extra morsels of like embodying your most high, that your most impeccable version of yourself is what's happening. Now I'm going to turn a light on, so please hang out. I will be right back. I'm going to get a little light on the subject. And hopefully it will help our situation here. Okay, yeah, that's a little better. Okay, so it feels very powerful because it's in the release of those conditionings that we create the correct conditions for this new part of our internal puzzle, of this new vision within us, to boop 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 boop, right? That's my sound effects, for it to calibrate the memory of who you truly are. Yes, as one with all of creation, but your personal piece of the puzzle of bridging heaven on earth through embodying, embracing, and exemplifying your soul gifts here. And it can be, and sure, it can be singing or dancing or and all that stuff, but it's the gift of you relaxing into your authentic self in every given moment, when you're buying a coffee, when you're by yourself in your car or on a bus, whatever it is. That is a state of grace where we are coming to, that allows the energy bodies a certain environment, so that we can come back to ourselves, so that we can come back to remembering this new vision. Okay, so on to the next row, which I love this card, moment to moment. Look at this character. First of all, he's wearing my most favorite like Tai Chi clothes, which I must get some soon. But he's literally one step at a time. He has one foot on one stone and the other foot is behind him. He's taking one step at a time. This is a very grounding card. It's a card of the earth, moment to moment. And he is so peaceful. And his arms are out. He's keeping balance. He's on one foot. His arms are out, and he's balancing. And he's on that one foot for that moment until he decides, until he's ready to take that next step. And then he's balancing again. And it's moment to moment, which is encouraging us as we go deeper into this third eye and deeper into embodying the master that we are, by listening to those guides, and really, really showing up and saying yes to love, saying yes to light. What it does is it takes us out of time. And I know it sounds funny, right? But if you meditate, you know that when you actually cut out time to meditate, you actually have more time. That's the gift that you get from meditation, is more time, please. Oh, sure, there you go. As long as you stop for a moment and smell the roses, then you will have more time. And it's this interesting, like, metaphysical thing that happens when we stop the world, and we don't have all of the decisions or everything figured out. And that's what we're called to do this week, in tandem with these spiritual practices, in tandem to showing up, and in tandem to allowing these veils of what we are no longer to be released. There's that freeing of like, okay, so now it's just about me, and I don't need to be what the world thinks I need to be, and I don't need to be who my husband thinks I need to be, and I don't need to be who my parents think I need to be, and I don't need to be even who I think I need to be in my mind, but I get to be who I am in my soul and my heart. And that's a very different way of moving through the world. That allows us to embody the present moment, one step at a time. And really, one step at a time is all there is. And I think about that Indiana Jones movie where I think it was in a couple of movies, right? The Bridge. And I remember one where, they're doing their dual thing, and then they get to like the edge of the cliff, and there's the other side of the cliff, and there's no bridge, and they're like, oh my God, what do I do? And he has like a satchel, and he gets the sand, and he throws the sand, and then the bridge shows up like all translucent under the sand. Like, no, there really is a bridge there. You just have to believe, you have to like take that first step, and the bridge will show up for you. It's like that saying, with courage, jump, and the net will appear. It's that kind of a vibe. Allowing ourselves to be so present in the moment. And I have to just give a props to Will. I know you're watching, and it's just like, I have seen this embodied in you so impeccably and so beautifully. And this looks like this quote that I have written on my mirror, which reads, okay, and it's about living in the now. And it reads that the now is the absence of worry or even concern or consideration about the past or the future. Wow. You don't have any, and I'm not talking about you now, Will, but I'm saying like, so we don't have any money, or we don't know how the rent is going to be paid, or we don't know where we're going to live, or we don't know how this is going to happen. We don't know how that's going to work, how we're going to get this thing for the car or how the work situation. Yet, as we drop, trying to figure it out with our minds and drop into the heart and really let go and allow and take just one step and one breath at a time, the next step is revealed to us. The next step comes to us. We don't have to find it. It comes to us. And under grace, then, we levitate with this step like a magic carpet and are taken to the next step. So it's a series, it's a progression, it's a practice. The next two cards on the second row are sharing and nothingness, which I think are very interesting right next to each other. So again, this is so much. I fully link this in with our new vision card on the third row. This is so, you are so turned on this week. And I think the universe is ready. The universe is ready to turn us all on to the next level. Look at this goddess. So whether you are male or female, right? Look at this aura. Bright, beautiful, glowing yellow aura around her. She's surrounded by a maroon aura with this beautiful, beautiful abundance cornucopia of foliage, of flowers, of love, of light, of golden. She's got flowers in her hair. Her robes are draping to the ground. She's holding up a tray of fruits, of blessings, and the light. She is embodying the light, and she is sharing her light. This is a card of fire. This is a card of energy and of action, but that is embodied in the feminine. It is by you allowing yourself that full relaxation and that moment-to-moment realization, excuse me, that you can then relax into a more authentic plane of sharing your truth. And that is so powerful because it's not coming from, I'm going to have to drink some more mimosa here in a second, because it's not coming from who you think you're supposed to be in order to get the job, in order to get the gig. Slancha and salute. It's about you relaxing into your authentic self and the natural sharing that happens and occurs from that. What I think is very, very interesting in the card that's right next to this is the nothingness card. It's a major arcana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas. And it's funny, they're at the corners of the reading. Nothingness. So this is a very interesting invitation because the nothingness is the void. It's the blank canvas. It's the place where that we don't know the answers. We don't have all the answers to anything yet, but where we allow ourselves to fully release any identification with who we've been in the past. And the nothingness card is right above. I'm sorry, right below that conditioning card, which fully sinks into whoever you think you are. Again, whether it's information given from your family, from society, from a school, from a district, or even from yourself. Because we do this to ourselves. We create timelines, and if we haven't met them or we haven't done certain things, we get hard on ourselves or we create stress for ourselves. And this card is saying, nothingness, nothingness, drop into the void. Forget who you think you are. So that, and the next card on the next row down is this new vision. We have to forget who we think we are so that we can be reborn in this new year. And believe me, the best parts of you, the most high parts of you will not be left behind. You're just making space for more of that good to come with you, right? As you move forward. And there's this beautiful saying that I really, really love that's really can be challenging. I know I said this to someone recently and they were very challenged by it. And I get challenged by it because with this work that we do and this writing and the teachings and the sharing, and also the inner gypsy hippie monk who wants to live on the hill and doesn't want to do anything but drink wine and write books and pet the cat and light fires and walk in nature naked, all that stuff has nothing to do with success or fame or money or da-da-da-da-da, right? But we want to make a living. Of course, we deserve that. We deserve to be abundant and to embody all that. Yet there's this saying that I got from a book called The Mayan Oracle, and I wrote it on my mirror in the room. And it says, I give all to attain no thing. And it's like, what? You're going to give everything away for nothing? You're going to give everything away to attain nothing? Are you crazy? Yes, I am actually. I give all to attain nothing. And so I'm saying that because I'm inviting you to it's like, this is always about like breaking out of what we think we know. Even the way that we think we know how things are going to turn out or how they should turn out. Letting go, letting ourselves fall into the void and be embraced. Again, it's like one step at a time, allowing that next step to show up in its perfect time and space. And that step carries us to the right door, to the right people, the person, whatever it is. There's no force. There's us just relaxing and sharing from our deepest, most beautiful and profound, authentic self, our true love, our true light, allowing ourselves to be nurtured by it and nurturing others in effect. And releasing the need for things to show up in order for you to get somewhere or get something. Oh, that's what this is about. That's what this is about, because it's tied with this conditioning. And we learn that we need to do this to get that. We learn that 1 + 1 = 2. We learn these ways of syncopating in the world. And what this card is saying is forget it all, right? It's saying like, for this to happen, this new vision to happen, some of this needs to be released. This definitely is going bye-bye, right? To the degree that we release it. And we need to be able, we need to be free and comfortable and relaxed enough to be able to be present in the not knowing, in the void, in the space of like, whoa, I totally trust I'm taken care of. I know I'm blessed. Thank you for the most high blessings, even though we haven't got a clue how or when or what that means or when it's going to show up. We just say it so. We make it so. Doing things and releasing the reason why you're doing it. Are you being nice just to get something? Are you doing this just to get that? What this card is saying is it's inviting us to do our best to release the reasons why we do things this week as a means to pave a new way of how we do things in the new year, to allow new to show up to us, to allow newer ways and paradigms and synchronicities to calibrate with us. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, because it's a lot. So the final row, new vision. So this is what this card is or this is what this reading I feel is really all leading us to, is this new vision of self. And there are shapes. Well, first of all, if you look right down below, there's a person on hands and knees. And that symbolizes where we've been. We've been, crawling on hands and knees, making our way. There's a square at the lower body up to the trunk of this person. Then there's a triangle, and then there's a circle. These 3 levels of consciousness, right? The square being just simply physical, the heart representing coming into the heart consciousness, and the circle being that mastery and that understanding and awareness and unification of oneness, right? It's through the oneness that the zero is created, and we remember that we are one through the zero. In this picture, this individual who was once crawling on hands and knees, not knowing where, how, when it was all going to come together, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a financial situation, whether it's a job, whether it's your health, your healing, a creative project. Your light body, boop, 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 is totally getting reactivated this week with this new year. And it wants to gift you a new part of your puzzle, of your internal puzzle, of who you are and how to do and be what you're here to do and be. I mean, this is huge. This is a part of the puzzle that you've never seen before, that you were not aware of before. And that's why we get to drop thinking that we know that we're doing A to get B, because this is saying like things are going to show up differently. You're going to do A, and you know what? You're going to get Z. And Z might show up, and you'll be like, what's Z about? I totally did A expecting B. And the universe is like, say thank you, Z. Say thank you, Z. Right? There's this, like, the universe wants to start to show us new parts of ourselves. Again, all of this stuff that we're doing in the earlier part of this reading is calibrating us to greater love, to greater light, to embodying our higher selves, our consciousness, to create the correct conditions for that light body, for those dots of memory to be connected. I always say with Reiki students, you know, when you get your Reiki attunement, you already are a healer. We all are healers. Our body is already encoded with its perfect blueprint, its hologram of perfect blueprint of health and well-being on every level of our being. Yet when we get a Reiki attunement, it creates the correct conditions within us whereby the memory of how that feels, what that looks like on a DNA level, like an old child's coloring book, right? Connect the, or not coloring, connect the dots, right? You connect the dots. And it's like that, where the memory is there, but the connecting, the activator, the thing that creates those synaptic connections so that this part can talk to this part and it all talks to each other, that's what's happening this week. Our light body is ready for the next level of activation. Are you ready? Yeah. And remember, first card, we got to pull out. You know, well, we don't have, of course, you don't have to do anything, but as you're guided, as it excites you, pull out those old affirmations, you know, those old practices, or even a practice that you love and that you've done, you know, for a while, but you don't know why you haven't done it for the past 6 months or whatever. It's time to like go that little bit deeper, and it doesn't even take a lot. Don't worry if you feel like you don't have time. It doesn't take a lot. It's just that consciousness. When you get that tap on your shoulder, when God says, universe says, your angels say that specific Saint Germain prayer today, and say it 3 times and light a candle. Do it. You know, it's that kind of a thing. The card right next to New Vision is ripeness. You are so ready. We are so ready. This is a very grounding, earthing card. It brings to earth all of these ideas, all of these concepts we're talking about. Ripeness. This plum has already fallen from the tree. It's on its way to earth. This is you. You are so ripe. You are so ready. You are so juicy and full of enzymes. You're coming to earth. The embodiment of your light body, the new vision of who you are, is grounding, is coming to earth through this ripening card. It's coming home. You are coming home to yourself this week, ready or not. And you will be more ready, right, as you do those disciplines and those practices that your higher self guides you. It is time. It is time. If time does exist, then it's right now. You get that, right? Last card is isolation, which seems a little like, woo, right? It's isolation. This person is like locked in ice and they're crying. He's crying. Isolation. It's totally a card of the mind, though. Totally a card of the mind. He's crying. Interesting. It's in the last row here with conditioning, right? Which we talked about, with no-thingness. And then right underneath it is isolation. So often when we release control, when we release the story of who we think we are, of who we've been told we are, it can be very scary, because then we don't know. Yet the don't knowing and the not knowing is exactly the moment-to-moment clarity and space that we are invited to go to this week. Yet it can be very challenging for us. And so we feel isolated, we feel alone, because in our own spectrum of mental capacities, there's stuff for these new neural networkings, for this new neural networking and light body activation to happen, which is like happening this week and can either happen with greater grace and ease as we allow those extra practices that call us, as we create time to honor them. There could be some, and it's not heavy, it's just like breaking the ice. It's a few tears. And it's releasing control. Like I had such a tough time in December, and I put it in a bubble of light, but I had a really tough time. And it came out in my personality. And I feel like I'm a very good person. I practice impeccability as a master, you know, totally in line with my higher self. But there were 3 specific situations where I was not my higher self. I was a bitch. Like, I think it's like, whoa, that's all in a bubble of light. I did not act as my higher self. I did not come with grace, with ease, and with extending all this stuff. And even though it was only slight, but the higher you get and the more turned on you get to yourself and your truth, that little bit of holding that you do, that little bit of whatever it might be, that ego tar body stuff is huge, right? Because you can see it, you can sense it, and you see it in yourself. So there were 3 situations where I was not my kindest, highest self. I woke up this morning and I was like, I cannot go into 2018 and pretend like it's all good or just write them an energy letter. Like, I really need to 3D make peace. I need to, as this person named Tuesday with these people named XYZ, I need to say, hey, I apologize for this. I'm sorry. I wasn't being my higher self. I ask your forgiveness. And I had to really just come into that humble place and just, redeem, ask for redemption, and just place love there. Forgive myself. So anyway, I did that this morning. I was like, I can't go spin the staff. I can't do whatever I think I need to do today until I do that. That was the most important thing. And right after I did that, I cried. I was like him. I cried. You know why I cried? Because I was set free. I was set free from last month, from that version of myself, the tar body version that was starting to sneak in and just be just mean. But it wasn't even big. It was like these little tiny fragments that probably other people couldn't see, but I could see them. And I was like, oh no, that version there's no room for her here. So I had to make peace and I cried. So that's what this card is saying. It's saying, don't be afraid to shed a few tears, because that's what's going to allow the clouds to move so that the clarity, the light can shine through, can be embodied through you here, now, and evermore, because you are on, baby. You are on. You are ripe. We are all ripe. We are ready. We are ready. The fruit is falling from the tree. So keep clear, keep grounded, keep practicing all your beautiful practices and then some this week to really get the calibrations of the life force juiced up. And God bless, yes. Thank you so much for hopping on today and joining me. I'm so grateful. I've never done a live tarot, but I didn't have anything recorded. And today's the day. So I thought, let's just do a live stream for tarot. So thank you for being here with me. Later, I'm going to put in the description box, again, my website, links to my books. Check out my Instagram feed. Join me on Instagram. Share these videos with your friends, your loved ones. Comment. I'm so very grateful. I thank you so much with all of my heart. Namaste and blessings, everyone. Happy New Year. Woo! And so it is.